What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XCN OnyxCoin today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. Here we are at about 12.46 cents right now. I will say, last week's close. This is something we didn't talk about last night, but that's actually it's a nice change of pace compared to the last 7 weeks, isn't it? It's not completely validating that we're going to find a low, but man, if we were to find a low, this really could be it. I'm very much under the impression that we go lower, but just accept the possibility, you guys. We might not see prices below this low, right? If you're counting on it, if you sold your XCNs here or even up, I mean, if you sold them up here, you should probably have started layering back in at this point, right? But maybe not. Who am I to say? Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but if we do go lower, if is the key word, that'd be a very prime buying opportunity. But it's hard for me to imagine if and when we do go lower that we go too much lower than these lows here. So it's just going to be a little drop, a little dip here. But also looking at this weekly time frame, I mean this could get you set up for a nice counterplay here. We really could, by the end of this week, see something that's all the way back up above like 1.6 cents, 1.8 cents. I'm not thinking we do, and I'm willing to accept that as a possibility. But this weekly time frame, it makes me like wonder. I'm like, are we about to turn around? Are we about to flip bullish? I don't think we are, but we could. In fact, I wonder. I just want to look here at the Heikin Ashi candles. I know this is something that I haven't shown a lot of people. A lot of you probably are aware of what Heikin Ashi is. If not, treat it as a momentum indicator, right? If you see here, it's like all these candles are green, but they weren't all green, were they? If we put this on the regular candles, you can see some of them were red, some of them were green, right? They weren't all green. It's a different formula. If you want to look up the formula, you can. I forget what it is, but it's basically like an average of the prior day's closing prices and the current day's opening prices, and then like your highs and stuff like that. Long story short, whenever they flip green, that tends to be a good thing. Whenever they flip red, they tend to stay red, especially on the longer term time frames. Don't use Heikin Ashi on the short term time frames, but the weekly is still red. We will be watching for this to flip green. That will be a very bullish thing, you guys, right? You see red here. You flipped green a little bit. You flipped green a little bit. Kind of exciting. A little bit here. But once you got green and you maintained green, look at what followed through, right? Then the reds were the ones that were the minority figures here, right? They didn't persist for too long. Right now we are in a red trend. We are going to the downside, obviously. So flipping that green would be a big deal this week. I don't know, man. If we close up high enough, we could flip that Heikin Ashi green, or at least get some green days at the very least. But if we were to go higher, if we were, and again, I still think that we're going to go below this low. I'm just the only reason why I'm caught up on this at all is I like the way that weekly close was. If we are to go below this low, no, I'm sorry. If we are to go higher, I'm sorry. If we are to go higher, ooh, I don't think we're going higher, guys. If we are to go higher, I would like to see the prices first get above 1.5 cents. At least from there, from 1.5 cents, that would make me think that we are going to about 1.9 cents. And if we get above 1.9 cents, you guys, on a daily closing basis, I'm very confident that's the low, right? If we can close a day above 1.9 cents above that yellow line there, I'm very convinced that's the low. Until then, it's the door is completely wide open that we could go lower. Yes, we could come up above this and still go lower. We could go all the way up to the 382, even through it. But if we don't close above it, if we wick up and then we close below it, we still have the possibility of going lower. That doesn't mean that we will go lower, but we have the possibility of going lower. Okay, we need conviction. We need conviction. We don't need to be just emotional and look for everything that we want to see, right? But don't get me wrong. There are times where we've had some conviction in the charts. We've had it in the form of breaking this downtrend, and we still didn't follow through, right? Sometimes even whenever you wait for a confirmation, it doesn't play out in your favor. If we're looking at this here, if I can go all the way back, all the way down, something like this. Yes, try to find resistance. There we go. We broke through it. We back tested it for support, and we still broke back down, right? But now we're wrestling with this line. I'm assuming that because of this downtrend here, I'm assuming that we will just kind of hug this downtrend line, this prior resistance line, maybe as support on our way down to these lower targets. Something like that, and in which case it might be another week, you guys, before we see this low come in. We can obviously break above and then break back below this line, and that's not a problem. It's not necessarily normal or what you'd want to see, but it can happen, right? We're definitely at this point disrespecting this line a lot more than we were before. If we look back in time here, you can see that we found a lot of significant resistance, tipping it and just rejecting it immediately. But ever since about this time last week, we have been consolidating around this line, and sometimes different behavior, you guys, begets different results. We absolutely could go to the upside here, so be prepared for that. The reason why I'm talking about that so much is that I know that there are some people who are really counting on buying XCN down at these prices, and not financial advice, not a financial advisor. For what it's worth, I bought more at these prices. Not today, right? It was back at these lows, but I think it's a good area to buy, right? I think this is an absurdly good area to buy, and what I'm proud of most is that whenever it does come time to move up, right? Whenever we are at prices that are dramatically higher from here, above anything on this chart, when we're at prices that are at 20 cents or beyond, I can confidently say that I've been saying it's a good time to buy like every single video for the last month, man. So if you're counting on this to happen, I mean, that might be the most ideal time to buy, but what if it's not? What if this is right now? You never know. So, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but it never hurts to DCA. If you don't have any XCN, yes, you should probably get in here. If you have a lot, like me, if it's your biggest hold, then maybe you have the privilege, the availability to be patient on this, right? And I'm not buying more here. I already bought some here. I'm not going to buy more here, but if it goes lower, I will buy more. I'm pretty confident we do go lower. Okay, let's get into the main meat of this, right? I think that we are going to go lower. If we look at the 4-hour RSI, we have lower lows, lower highs, right? Lower. I guess we don't have lower. Do we have lower lows here? Yes, we do have lower lows and lower highs. We are in a bit of a mini downtrend here, but not, I mean, obviously, a little bit more than a mini downtrend, I suppose, if we keep looking back. It wouldn't be crazy at all from here to move up a little bit. Maybe we move up to like 1.3 cents. Maybe we move all the way back up to like 1.38 cents. Another lower high kind of in this little area here. Or we could just drop through the floor. We're at this point where last time we found support, we moved up pretty significantly. Here, when we're finding support, we're not really moving up that much. So again, if we move up a little bit, that's fine. But inevitably, when we break this line, I think that'll make this trend down more obvious that we are going to see prices below this low. From a high to a low here, we're right at the 0.5, which is not normally a common area to find support at. Oftentimes, if you do, you get significant results. Sometimes they carry on, sometimes they don't. This time we're not really showing so much significance to it, so I would at least think that we go to 1.2 cents to 1.17 cents. But likely, once we do break below 1.1 cents at about this area here, the 886, once we see a 4-hour close below there or a daily close below there, the floodgates will open. The target area becomes very clear that we're going to see about 0084 to 0095, somewhere in this area for support. My money, if I had to guess, my money is we're going to go right around this 0.4. I don't think that we're going to stop at the 1272 or the 1618, but rather somewhere in between, maybe right around that 1414. It's very common. In fact, it's more common than it is less common to wick below the 1414, come back up and close above it. So if we go below this, that doesn't necessarily mean we're going here. And a wick, by the way, is a very short-lived experience. So if you're trying to catch it, you might want to have limit orders set up, but not financial advice, not a financial advisor. If I'm buying more, and I'm considering buying more, I might buy some more of some other cryptos. We'll see, because XCN is my biggest bag, and I don't like to, even though I like XCN a lot, I don't like to just fully deploy into one thing. We'll see. We'll see, though, because I definitely do think this thing is going to do well. We'll see. But I'll let you guys know if I buy, right? And if I have buy orders set up, if I put them in, I'll definitely let you guys know. But if I was to set up buy orders, I'd probably set them up between 0.0095 to 0.009, and I would just layer them through, right? Even if I had, like, I don't know, like if you have $10,000, $1,000, $100,000, whatever it is, maybe $1,000, you could just layer it in like 2 or 3 orders. You don't need to layer it too much. But if you have like 10,000 or more, I'd probably layer 10 orders or more. Like it would take time to layer all these orders out, set them up, but like I would spend 20 to 30 minutes just getting these orders set up, layered up from 009, 0095 in that area, with the total accepting possibility that we could go lower, and it wouldn't freak me out if it did, right? We accept it as a possibility. The reason why I buy above the lowest price is I want to get in. I don't care about getting the lowest price. I just care about getting in. If your style is not that same way, if you want to just try and get in at the lowest price, do your thing, right? None of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm telling you what I would do. That's all I'm saying, right? It's just my opinion. You can do whatever the hell you want to do, right? But I don't want to throw I don't want to throw attention at other cryptos necessarily. I know you guys like XCN, a lot of you that watch this here, but I know that there's a lot of you who also value my input on other cryptos. You know, there's some other coins, and I think it's very obvious if you pay attention to my videos what coins I'm interested in. You know, I like Cookie DAO, I like B3, Swift Coin is on the list for sure. You know, there's some other ones out there too that I'm just drawing a blank on now. LCX, but and then some other ones that I hold a lot of already. But you know, we'll see. And then the reason why I'm not talking about every coin that I hold or every coin that I'm interested in, right? There are coins that I hold that I have enough of too. So I'm not gonna mention Compound or Bitcoin Cash, right? Because I've got enough of those in my opinion. Not gonna mention Mana because I have a lot of those in my opinion. But I still like all those cryptos, and I still think they're gonna perform very well and outperform the average crypto in the market. But this isn't about those, damn it. This is about XCN. This is why I tried not to talk about other cryptos. But who knows, man? I definitely have a taste for OnyxCoin, so perhaps if these prices do get down here, maybe I will just full send into this with whatever remaining money that I have. I told myself this would be my last XCN purchase, but I don't know, man. When appetizing prices come along, you kind of got to get that fork and knife out. I don't know. I don't know what else to say, you guys. I think that we are going lower. 4-hour RSI looks like we want to go lower. We're about to pierce into the oversold area. I would expect that to bring a low, right, or a new low. Whenever we got oversold here, we saw a nice move down, and then we continued to move down. Overall, it was a movement like this. If we saw a similar movement from basically where we broke out to that low from here, that would take us right around what we're talking about, right? That very minimum target there. And here's another thing too. I guess I'll end the video with this, just in case anybody's focused on my strategy, right? From a low to a high, if I do set buy orders up here and then I layer them through to this line in between these areas here, if we were to bounce right off of this and then get back above the 886, I would just throw the hammer down right here, right? If I wanted to buy XCN and I was expecting it to go lower, but it doesn't, I would just throw the hammer down right as soon as we close above the 886. I don't care what the price is, because whether it's here, whether it's there, whether it's here, it's all good prices. It's all gravy, right? It's all going to be good. And I think that we are inevitably going to see dramatically higher prices when this move is resolved. Somebody was showcasing their skills as a technical analyst. Sorry, I'm showcasing my skills of proper English. Somebody was showcasing their skills, and they were telling me, "How can you call this a bull flag? How can you call this a bull flag? It doesn't look anything like a bull flag. It's been too long. It's in a bear market." Well, hold on. Fortunately enough, my friends, we actually have data of what a bear market looks like. Oh, there it is. That's what a bear market looks like. I don't know. I don't think we're in a bear market here, guys. I know that some people get bored, and because the price has been moving down for less than 2 months, I know that that can be boring and worrying for some people, but this is a perfect bull flag. Look it up on Google. What's a bull flag? Right? Let's do it together so you can't run from it, right? Bull flag. Let's do it right here. Well, I don't know. If it looks like a duck, if it farts like a duck, if it flaps its pretty little wings like a duck, I don't know, man. To me, every single example that you can find, and this is really like, it's a perfect example of a bull flag. I don't know how you could say anything else, but my response to that guy, because he was clearly just trolling. He doesn't know what he's talking about, or maybe he does know what he's talking about, but he was just trolling. My response was, I'm going to take a wild guess that this is your first bull market. And if you weren't trolling, if you meant that sincerely, then I apologize. I'm not trying to pick fights with people who are genuinely just trying to learn, but this is a bull flag. Now, if you look at the daily time frame, it might be harder to see, but we're looking at the weekly time frame, right? Not to cherry pick, but because it's abundantly obvious what's going on here, guys. Whenever we break out of this, by the way, a bull flag, the way that you measure this move from a low to a high, I know we're all aware of what this means, right? If that is the low, assuming that it goes lower even, right? Let's put it down at 0.0085, lower than where I think it's going to go. That would take us all the way up to 17 cents. And the thing about bull flags, you guys, is they don't have to stop at their measure moves. They can fall just below them. They can fall just above them. It doesn't matter, somewhere around this area nonetheless. And that's where we put our fibs on, right? We don't have the low here. Okay, whatever. Let's assume it's from the same low. Let's just put this at the same. Maybe we'll put it at this low. But just below would be 13 cents. Just above would be 20 cents, right? So if you were to stop in this area, I would expect at least 13 cents, if not 20 cents or more. And we've got other reasons, a lot better reasons versus Bitcoin, the comparison versus Bitcoin, that allows us to believe that we're going to see dramatically higher targets anyways. But I've got nothing else for you guys. I'm done. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Take care of yourselves, okay? And bye-bye.